When we hear a certain call, when the world must come together as one, our people dying, it's time to lend a hand tonight. The greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone, somewhere we soon make a change. We are the part of God's greatest family, and we through with our love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, saving our own life. It's youth to make a better day. It's you and me. Sin in your heart. Say you know it's someone else. Our lives will be stronger and free. Cause God has shown us by turning stones to bread that we must send a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. It's saving our own life. It's you to make a better day. It's you and me. And you find out this needs a hope at all. And you just believe there's nothing we can fall. I gotta realize all I deserve. When we stand together as one, we are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, saving our own life. It's you and me. It's choose to make a brighter day. That's you and me. We are the world. So let's start giving. We're saving our own life. It's you to make a better day. Just you and me. We are the children. There's a choice we make it. We're saving our own life. So let's start giving. We are the children. So let's start giving. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Yes, that is it. That is it. That is it. That is it. I tell you, when you hear that song, whenever you hear that song right now, around this time, you know for certain that it is in fact the #1 late night show here in this beautiful land we call Suriname, on this the power station SRS, the national sender, the national radio station, the station that indeed must project unity, nation building, stability, serenity, and the opportunity for those who are listening to grab at the opportunity, to grab at this chance of making a difference. I'm Professor Love, and I'm here to do what I am passionate about, and that is making my contribution towards the upliftment to that individual, that one individual who made it their business to tune their radio, to tune their Facebook, or whatever platform they choose to be a part of this show. Whatever time they decide to listen to the sound of my voice, I am speaking to that person, to that one individual. You see, it takes one to get the message. It takes one to be convicted. And the positivity of that one impact can revive, re-energize, re-stimulate those who may have lost hope, who may have lost meaning, who may have lost a sense of direction, into what's the point? What is the reason? What is the absolute purpose of their lives? You see, I just want to connect with that one individual. I'm not busy scattering my words like it's the net cast out into the sea, hoping to capture a school of fishes. I'm just looking for that one vulnerable, aching soul that needs something to bring them to that reality that there is still some kind of hope. There's still some kind of purpose. And that individual I'm talking to tonight, I'm not here to stimulate you. I'm not here to give you an erect clitoris, an erect penis. I'm not here to turn you on. I'm not here to get you angry. I'm not here to disturb you emotionally. I'm just here to connect to your reasoning, to connect to your intellect, to leave you with suggestions so that your mind can be engaged. And in your convenient time, you can decide what is relevant for what I have said, what is applicable to your life, and how much you can use some amount of that information to shore up your foundation, your daily foundation for a better tomorrow. That's my purpose. And when I play the song there, We Are the World, I always advise people, don't let the music, the combination of different instruments and organs in the music production confuse you. Those are there to get your attention. Words is what is alive, not the instruments. The words are what is alive. Your words can build you or break you. Someone's words can build you or break you, can take you to heaven or hell, can give you calm or disturbance, peace or war. It takes words, not instruments. The instruments are just there to get your attention. The words is what you need to focus on. And ask yourself the question, my sober self, do I really want these words of that song be spoken over my life? Do I really want my partner, my wife, my husband, my girlfriend or boyfriend or son or daughter or family or relatives, do I really want the words of these songs that are played constantly on social media, on the radio, on television, do I really want these words come alive in the lives of my extended family or the people I've mentioned? Do I consciously want that? If you are honest to yourself, and if you care about you, because you have to care about you for you to have some amount of consideration for other people. If you care about you, I am sure you would arrive at the conclusion that you never would want these words from the songs that are now trending, so-called popular songs, so-called songs for teens, so-called songs for thugs and gangsters and bitches and hoes. Those songs, you would consciously say, I don't want those words over my life, over the lives of my children, over the lives of my relatives and friends. I would wish that on the lives of my enemy, not those I profess to love. Because words are what shape your decisions. Words are what determine what's your next step. Words. So when you listen to the words of the song I've decided to use indefinitely as the theme song, We Are the World, indeed, those are positive words. Those are words that if all of us, if presidents and prime ministers and kings and queens and people that are trusted in government, if they can embrace the words of that particular song, don't you think, as those words come alive in them, their actions would reflect the sentiments in that song? Don't you think their actions would be better for the nation? for their constituents, for their inner circle, for their families? Don't you think that will be the results? But when last have you heard any political platform play these uplifting songs? Instead, they invite artists who may have a particular audience because they want the attention of that audience. It matters not the garbage that artists may sing. It matters not the destructive lyrics, the distasteful, divided lyrics that are coming out of the songs from these artists. It matters not to these politicians. They just want the audience these artists can attract, so they can sell their political propaganda just to secure votes. But consciously, do you think these politicians want the words of those lyrics from the songs sang by those artists over the lives of their family or themselves? No. But yet, they entertain these people, pay them large sums of money because of their lust for power by any means necessary. Even if it means putting a curse on the nation, on the people. Even if it means investing in evil doings just to get people's attention, regardless of what is spoken over their lives. It matters not. And I continue to say this. Politics can only rule over a divided nation. Politics has no grip on a people that are united. Politicians cannot rule over a united people. They can only rule over a divided people. By dividing their nation, they can control what they have divided, whom they have divided. Because when people are separated from the core, they become weak, lost, and vulnerable. It is easy to control a vulnerable group. They're looking for some savior. They're looking for direction. They're looking for shelter, for solitude, for a safe haven. And the same politicians who invented the enemy and presented a version of this fake enemy to scare their target audience into believing that this enemy is real, and that the only defense, the only protection these people have against the enemy is if they make this or those particular politicians their leaders. Only then can they feel safe. When all of that happened, and they get the attention of those vulnerable people, those weak, vulnerable people, they gain the trust. They find favor. As a result of that, they earn the votes. And after they earn the votes, and these vulnerable people, weak, poor, desolate, put all their trust and hope in these people who have created or invented an enemy that doesn't exist, but cause the people to believe that this enemy exists. After the people make those individuals kings and priests, or presidents and prime ministers and ministers, They now become the enemy because they fail to deliver on their promises. They fail to tell the people, now, you see, the enemy that I was telling you about is now out of office. No, I'm here. I'm your friend. No, I'm going to demonstrate to you that I'm your friend. That never happens. So an enemy is always relevant for politicians to get attention. And this go way back to ancient times, when we had the church and state, when the kingdoms ruled. For them to separate the church from the state, they had to create an enemy. They had to invent an enemy. And then it was the kingdoms. Then it was the king. It is just our innate thirst for more, for power, for control. And you always find it is the weak who always lust power, not the strong. The strong is never insecure. The strong never needs validation. One of the things I've said in the past is that lies need an audience. Truth just need one witness. When you lie, you need an audience. You need a platform. You need to promote, publish your lie. You need to commercialize your lie. You need to brand your lie. But truth only needs one witness. And truth sells itself. It does not need marketing. It does not need promoting. It does not need friends. Lies and liars do. It is with a heavy heart that most of us rise from our beds every day. Because of the activities of the past, we do not look forward to the future with any kind of hope, enthusiasm, or excitement. We are just hoping. We descend to our knees. We reluctantly close our eyes. We prostrate ourselves to the position where we want to believe that there is some unseen, some invisible force that is present in our presence to hear what we have to say. And we pour our hearts out. We talk to this invisible force that we are hoping is present. And we ask the question, why me? Why me, God? Why me? Why me, Jesus? Why me? What have I done in my past life? What have I done in my childhood days? What are my sins that there seem to be no end in sight towards the suffering? That every government that comes and goes promises better. Every politician who is not in office promises better. But with every new government comes new struggles. Why me? When will this end? What can I do? What am I not doing so as to add to my own peace and happiness? Is my prayer not being answered? Is there no one listening? Am I praying to the wrong source? Am I calling the wrong name? Am I positioning in the wrong direction? Am I going to the wrong church? Am I reading the wrong scripture? What is it I'm doing wrong that I can't have immediate, long-term, substantial answers? These are the words that people express every morning, every night. Why can't things go the way it's promised to go. It is frustrating when you consider yourself a genuine person, a person of light, of right, of truth, but yet you cannot close your eyes and plan because you don't have the resources to support the plans you make. But yet the people who in your eyes are a scorn in the eyes of your God, are a scorn to majority of society, are liars and thieves and robbers and crooks. They seem to be having the best life ever. All their bills are paid. Their family have plenty until they can give to dogs. They have money running over in the banks. They have properties everywhere. They have land that as far as the eye can see. Yet the question is, how is it that they have those things and they are not favored in the eyes of God? I am doing everything as my Lord asked of me, but I am not in that prosperity. Why not? These are the questions people ask themselves. And then the same people who seem to have abundance and have never ventured to share their abundance, they're the ones who are occupying the platform, talking about injustice, talking about discrimination, talking about the government is friends and families, talking about suffering, talking about they can't come out, they cannot live, they cannot buy freely. These are the people, the ones who have abundant. They're the ones who are pretending, who are playing a role of a poor person to deceive the actual poor, to deceive the actual suffering, to deceive the homeless, the desolate, just to get their votes. When in reality, when the truth is, none of these people on political platform are hungry. None of these people who are talking on podiums, who are begging for votes, none of them have rent to pay. None of them have car payments. None of them have to worry about paying a bank loan. None of them have to worry about losing their jobs. They have so much that is running over. They can afford to have 3 and 4 extra women. Or we say boy to frau. They can afford to have a statue here, a statue there, and to put gas in the other man's car. They can afford to buy a vehicle for their lover. And the people who are sincerely suffering, the people whose relationships were damaged because the man cannot earn enough to provide for his household, because the woman has to compromise, cheat on her husband, lie to her husband, deceive her boyfriend, because she needs that extra cash that is promised from the rich man who has. Those are the real victims. Those are the people with the real issues. They should be on the political platforms. The man who lost his wife, the woman who lost her husband, the couple who lost their homes, the children who lost their parents. They are the ones who deserve the attention. They are the real victims. They should have our votes. They understand what it's like to take things for granted. Not the ones who have no record of ever having to work hard, or to struggle, or to wake up to go to a kitchen that had practically nothing. Just gas, but nothing to cook. They have a bank account with 0 cash. Those are the real victims. But how do we embrace that? How do we put that into perspective? To understand that our loneliness, our state of being, it is not by choice, but circumstances. You see, the time has to end when we blame people for their disposition. The time has to end when we tell people you should be responsible for the choices you make. Yes, but the choices that people make are influenced by the environment around them. And the environment around them is shaped by those in authority. By those in authority. It's like the body. We have two of everything. The most important organs and parts of our body that we need for a balanced motor skill, a balanced efficiency, comes in a pair. We have two eyes, we have two lips, two hands, 2 feet. For production of humanity, the man has 2 scrotum or 2 balls, the woman has 2 ovary. You have 2 ears, 2 kidneys, 2 of everything. But we have one central nervous system, we have one brain, we have one heart, and one body. All of the 2 must function, operate in unison towards the effective running of the entire body. There is no going in different direction. It has to work, everything has to work together. Because the body has one purpose. Stay alive. Stay alive. That's the purpose of the body. So all the organs of 2 work together to ensure the longevity of that one body. We have this country, this rich, fertile land we call Suriname. Suriname is the body. The people are the parts, the organs. The government is the brain. The parliament is the heart. If there is division in the parliament, between the parliament and the government, if there is division amongst the people, how do you expect this land to prosper? And this is not just incumbent on one government. Decades from the history to now, there are always forces that seeks to keep the body as an imbecile, to keep the body malfunctioning, to handicap this country, to handicap this country. Forces within this country just want to handicap this country. And what is happening in our social structure finds its way in the homes, finds its way in the bedrooms of couple, finds its way contaminating the energy that people are utilizing during the act of sex. So when people enter their bedrooms with this toxic energy, with this confusion and anger, with this confusion of not knowing what happens next, they pass that energy to each other. And that energy is what is merged into the whole process of having sex. And then they conceive, conception happens, a child is born, the child is toxic. That toxic child is raised in a toxic environment, a toxic country, And before you know it, crime increased, racism increased, division increased. And we are still wondering what is the problem. It's division. It is people are benefiting from the division. There are forces that are benefiting from us being divided. Every time they have a platform, they only talk about the weaknesses of the country. Take for example, the AIDS epidemic. The more they talked about it, the more people contracted it. The more they talk about using condoms, the less people use condoms. That is psychology. You want something to spread more? Talk about the negatives of that thing. Because negativity arouses curiosity in the listener. And that becomes contagious. It spills over in our relationships. It spills over in our relationships. Nobody spends time in what's positive anymore. If you post something positive, if you post a positive thought, a thought that is simple to understand, love thy neighbor, nobody will share it. Nobody will click on that. People are not excited by the motivation to do good. But if you post something, the president's wife was seen kissing somebody, even if it is not true. The reflexes of people, just waiting for a chance to read something negative. The reflex is quickly post, share, like, comment. Even if that information cannot be validated. They just want to know they can be a part of spreading something negative, something bad. They feed into that. It's nurturing, regardless of the damage it may cause to the person that is the victim. Nobody wants to hear anything good. You talk nice to a woman, she looks at you with scorn. You make an attempt to treat her as a lady, she thinks you are weak. She thinks you are old-fashioned. She thinks you are desperate. She thinks you are insecure. Because you are being nice, something she's never experienced or used to. Or she's seen in movies that are dated from 1980s or the 1940s or the 1970s. It is not relevant to today. Today, you have to insult her. You have to treat her harshly. You have to treat her as though she does not exist. Then you get her attention. Then she wants the opportunity to make you into a good person. Then she wants the challenge to put you first, to prove to you that she's better than the way you're treating her. That's how society has now engineered people. That it has to be painful. It has to have a racial tone to it. It has to have a criminal agenda. It has to be satanic for it to taste good, get people's attention. If there is a God attached or a Jesus' name attached, they are not interested. Even the hypocritical Christians, they are not interested. Give me Satan and let me try to make him God. I don't want God because I already know him. Give me Satan. That's the attitude now. Don't tell me how good somebody is. It's not sexy. Tell me how bad they are. Tell me how many men she slept with. Tell me how many women he molested. Tell me how much the politician robbed and stole. Tell me how corrupt the president is. Tell me how corrupt the vice president is. That is what I want to hear. I don't want to hear how good he is. I don't want to hear how hard he will try to make a difference. I don't want to hear that. That is too good news. I don't want good news. I need to be depressed. I need to stay in the state of anger, of frustration, anxiety. And for that to happen, you have to tell me there is nothing good in society, that human beings are incapable of being good, that the president doesn't have what it takes to make a good impact in the country, that the government has failed, that the opposition will do better. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear anything that is uplifting. I don't want to hear the currency of Suriname will be stronger. I don't want to hear the economy will recover. I don't want to hear stores will restore, shops will reopen, businesses will resurrect, people will get more jobs. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear how bad things are. I want to hear how depressed people are, how much they have lost hope. I want to hear how they can't wait to get rid of the government. I want to hear that everybody hates the president, everybody hates the government, the parliament. I want to hear only the things that are negative. That's where we are today. You know why? Because those who were entrusted to steward over us only exposed us to what's bad, to negativity. From the cradle, from the hands that rocks the cradle, while the mother is breastfeeding that child, the music she's playing, the movies she's watching, the conversations she's having, the emotions she is experiencing, she is imparting all that bad energy into that child. That child's consciousness is being molded from a very early stage into the direction of negativity, toxicity, junk food, junk music, junk friends, junk love. So when that child reaches the point of consciousness, when he or she can take responsibilities for their actions, they just continue the legacy of those who raised them. The daughter grows up seeing many men around her mother. That's the normal for her. She cannot hold on to one man herself. The son grew up to see his father in and out of prison, cops running into the home. He thinks, I want to be like daddy. Automatically he falls into that category. We shape them. And we wonder today why nothing is going right. Absolutely nothing. There are people who started listening, and because of what I'm saying, they switch to another channel. They switch to listening to music. Because why? What I'm saying is not what they expect to hear. They want to hear me join with the popular pundits to criticize women or criticize the president or criticize the government. Then I would be cool in their eyes. They would share my videos. They would tell their friends, I like that guy, he's speaking the truth. Whose truth am I speaking? Whose version of the truth am I speaking? Where would I get the information to substantiate what I'm saying about what you expect me to say? If I have to speak based on a third person, I have to find out from where that person gathered their information. Then I will go to the source and decide whether I want to peddle that propaganda or that information. But what I'm saying is, I am not easily bought. I am not easily bought, and I'm not for sale. We are now in heightened political climate. We are now in positions where people will go the extra mile because of what's at stake. But what is motivating these people to do what they're doing? I have to be a part of the solution. I am not here to highlight any problem, but to make a statement. I establish a base. I establish a base. And the basis, your scripture tells you, regardless of what religion you're from or you affiliate with, tells you, put not your trust in the flesh. Do not trust the flesh. Look at your history. Look at your story. And find out what were the results of you trusting the flesh. If I should bring this to relationships, there are so many people who have sent stories. I have so many stories right now that the one thing I can tell to address all these issues, your problem was you trusted before you proved them. You did not prove that individual before you trusted them. You trusted them, then you looked for the evidence to approve of them. And that it was too late. It will always be too late when you trust people before you approve of them. So whether you have broken up your relationship, you have dissolved your marriage, you were a victim of lies or deception, it is because of one thing. You trusted people before you approve of them. In the school system, no one is approved of unless it is reflected on their performance on the test paper. When you performed well on your test, on your exam paper, only after then you receive the approval. In any organization, after you would have passed the test, then you receive the stamp of approval. Never before. And after you receive the stamp of approval, you have to perform consistently, faithfully, before you can be trusted. And more often than not, it takes years to secure promotion in an organization. Years. Because that is when you have earned the trust. Not approval, the trust of that organization. The problems we have now, with all the dissatisfaction, with all the cries, with all the complaints, it is because of broken trust. Because of broken trust. Because we did not take the time to approve of individuals before we can trust them. In the manufacturing sector, before a device, before a vehicle can come on the market, it has to meet the manufacturer's approval. It has to be tested over and over and over. Then it receives the stamp of approval before it goes on the market. Because every manufacturer understands your product only go places if it has the trust of the consumers. Not the approval, the trust of the consumers. Why can't we use that same discipline in our personal lives, in our political lives? Why not? Why do we trust people first before we approve of them? Why can't we approve of politicians first and then they earn our trust? They can't just wake up one day and decide I'm going to be a politician and then hoping, and most of the time they're successful. Because the people, their audiences, are ill-equipped. They're inexperienced, immature. And they take advantage of that. Play on the emotions, the immature emotions of their listeners, of their followers. Creating this fake enemy and presenting themselves as the solution. How many times over would this have to happen? How many times before we learn? From generation to generation, we keep being deceived and deceived. The same playbook was used by the colonialists post-slavery to get Europeans to stand with the rich Europeans. They had to tell the other Europeans who were not rich that, hey, at least you are better than these Negroes. You are superior to these Negroes. You may not have millions, but you are superior to those Negroes. And that was comforting, knowing that in their state of poverty, they still held on to that theory, that superficial reality, that they're still in a better position because they are better than the blacks. That found its way into our current societies. Even amongst Africans, even amongst black people. If you are a light-skinned black person, automatically you are better than a dark-skinned black person. So you don't need to complain, Because the black-skinned person is worse off than you, even if the situation is the same. Then if you are a mixed race black person, you are mixed with something else, you are better than the light-skinned and the dark-skinned black person. Because you are programmed to believe that if you are mixed with something better than you, you are better than those who are like you. We have it amongst our Indian brothers. If you are a light-skinned Indian, you are better than a dark-skinned Indian. Or a dark-skinned Indian is a Kuli. A light-skinned Indian is a Brahmin. So you're better. And it continues, it perpetuates. If you are from this political party, you are better than the one who is not from this political party. So you have to sell that narrative. You have to sell that fake reality. That if you want to be a better person or to be seen as a better person, you have to wear this color. You have to be seen in this camp. You have to hang around these kinds of people. Then society would look at you differently. And you would automatically get opportunities. If you're in a company, you will always be the first to be picked for promotion because you're light skinned. On the dating scene, men will always come after you because you are light skinned. Because the people who are dark skinned are less desirable. So therefore, you may not have everything. You may not be rich and powerful, but you're light skinned. And that's something to be proud of. And it continues to be peddled and it becomes a part of our thinking. And then we see it over and over in movies, in music, in politics, in religion. We continue to see the same film being played over and over. The enemy is those who are dark skinned. Trust the ones who are light skinned. Because beauty is fair skin. To be ugly is dark skin. And this is something that is being sold over and over and over. And it enters politics, religion, relationships. That men leave their godly wives, their saintly wives, their queens that treats them like kings, simply because she's dark skinned. And they found some other woman outside that is light skinned. Even if the light skinned woman has been fucked by 1,000 men, they don't care. She's light skinned, so automatically she's more beautiful. Even if the light skinned woman has her whole body covered with tattoos and piercing, they don't give a shit. She's light skinned, so she's more beautiful than my dark skinned wife. So for society to see me like this guy who has made it, I have to be seen with a light skinned woman next to me. This is how we are. For politicians to look cool, they need to have a wife who's light skinned. They need to have a secretary who's light skinned. Because being lighter skinned means you are a better brand of human. You are superior because you are close to Europeans. The closer you are to Europeans' features, complexion, the closer you are to God. The closer you are to Africans, dark skin, thick lip, muscular, broad nose, the closer you are to the devil. That's the narrative that has been sold since during slavery to now. It is normalized. It is normalized in society. When I get down to the brass facts, when I'm talking to people, when they come to me with their stories and I'm talking to them, 99% of the times, men and women, the women would say, because the other woman is light skinned, she's Douglas or she's mixed or she's a different race, he went with her. He left his wife for the other woman because she's light skinned. His wife cheated on him with another man because he's light skinned. These are the things I hear. I know what I'm talking about. All of these items I'm listing are a part of my agenda tonight. I have to highlight this. People have to come back to that place where they understand that these things are not real. It's an illusion. There is no substance to it. It is an illusion. It is like filters that you use on your photos. None of the filters that are on these social media apps or these AI, none of them have features to make you darker. All of them, they have features to make you lighter, to make you appear lighter. None of them have features to make your face more African-like. All of the features on every app is designed to make your face, your body structure more European. Even artificial intelligence. It seems like it is an unending war against blacks. It will never end. Why spend so much resources to keep this idea that lighter means better? Why invest so much resources and time for decades and decades just to keep that in the eyes and the minds of people? Why? That white is right and black stays back. Why? Why is it so important that people need to be reminded? So when they are dark skinned, they should be ashamed of themselves. They should sit at the back of the class. They should not try to be the head or the leader. They should always want to be the servant, the worker, the voter, and not the candidate. Why? Why is it so important? Because it's not true. Because it's a lie. Because nothing about that is true. Nothing. There's no substance to it. There is no truth to it. Light doesn't mean right. White doesn't mean right. The lighter doesn't mean you're beautiful or more attractive. No, it doesn't. It never did. It never will. This is why they need to market it. This is why they need to promote it. To program your mind to start thinking that if you look this way, opportunities will follow. If you date these kinds of people, successes in your relationship, prosperity in your marriage. If you have a child that is born with light skin, that child will have a bright future. This is what they're selling. So when you as a parent give birth to a child and that child comes out dark skinned, you are depressed. You feel less of a productive person. You don't want to embrace your child. You treat the child like an outcast. You keep trying until you happen to find somebody to give you a light-skinned kid. Then you think you have achieved something. And you put your all into that light-skinned child and you neglect the ones who are not. Simply because you believe in this lie that lighter is better. You believe in this lie because you keep hearing about it over and over and over. All the biblical characters, every religion you see, every movie you see, it's always light skin, light skin. European, if it's black, it's light skin. If it's another race, it's light skin. And you start believing that it's true. So if you yourself is not light skin, you invest money in chemicals, so-called beauty products, to make your skin appear lighter, because you need to be in that group of people that is considered beautiful or attractive. And after a while, when you start losing that faith and your original complexion returns, you are depressed. You hate your parents. You hate your mother for sleeping with your father who is dark-skinned. You hate your father for sleeping with your mother who is dark-skinned. You hate your relatives who are dark-skinned. You only want to hang around the ones who are light-skinned. You don't date dark-skinned women. You don't date dark-skinned men. You don't socialize with dark-skinned people. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to think because you have some deficiency, some skin deficiency of some light skin close to European kind bloody complexion, to think that you are better than someone who is dark skinned? Who the hell are you? Who told you? Who told you that you're better? Where is your evidence? Where is your biological evidence, your scientific proof that you're better? Where is it? It is a dumb idea in your stupid mind that you believe that because you're light-skinned, you're better. Because you have a nose that you can't breathe, a European designed nose, or thin lips that you yourself can't even fold or kiss yourself because your lips are so thin, that you are better than someone who has big nose, thick lips. Who the hell are you? If you want to demonstrate that you are superior, if you want to demonstrate that you are better, do it physically. Get into a ring with somebody who's dark-skinned. Get on the field. Get in the classroom. Do something practical to show that you're better. Physically demonstrate that. Not some fake appearance. You look down on people who are dark-skinned. You are inferior. Biologically speaking, you, light-skinned people, are inferior. Biologically, you are inferior. It is a deficiency that causes your skin to be like that. Not a blessing, it's a curse. The people who are biologically superior are the dark-skinned people. The jet black people are the superior to you, light-skinned people. Do your research. Ask your scientists and your doctors. They'll tell you. So the time has to come when we have to get this foolishness out of our minds. This foolishness. I walk around. I'm going to just digress, not digress, but I'm just going to slant here. Recently, a very loving home was broken up because the husband, this dog of a man, this imbecile, left his fertile wife who gave him 4 healthy children. Healthy children. This asshole, this loser, this lunatic left this woman for an oversized, ugly ass, stink, ghetto fabulous, light-skinned Dominican woman who has 6 kids, and then boasting that God blessed him with a beautiful princess. This, I want to curse. Me want to curse a man this, me tell you. Ik ben so boos. I'm so angry. Left his wife to take this Dominican woman just because she's light-skinned. She has 6 kids. Her body is filled with tattoos. She probably fucked the whole village. He left his wife for that bitch. And then boasting about it. Which God? I want to meet that God. I would slap him myself. Which God is going to do that injustice to a good black woman? And the man I'm speaking about, he's a Bushland Creole. He's a black man. Dark-skinned black man. And the woman he left, the wife he left, is a gorgeous woman. She gave him 4 kids, and you would not believe that woman has 4 children. I mean, you know the blacks in Suriname. You can't tell they have kids. They are so attractive. You can't tell their age or if they have kids. They all look young. They're 30 years old, 40 years old, and you can't believe because they still look like they're teenagers. And these kind of women, these stupid ass men, these low-life, empty-headed men that are drunk on this idea that having a light-skinned woman make them achieve something. It's an achievement. So they leave their wives. They abandon their wives. These fucking fools. Just for these parasites. These light-skinned women that are prostituting themselves. You see them on Facebook, on TikTok, showing off their ass and they're showing off their boobs. They're walking around with no bra, no underwear. And these men are running after these women just because they want to be seen with these women who they think represent beauty. To hell was with that. What kind of beauty? Who defines what beauty is? What does your Bible says? This is why I said before, this is why I said that black people don't need God or Jesus. They need church. They need religion. Because when you go assemble, when the blacks are assembling and they pass that energy and that spiritual atmosphere is empowered, all this social media crap is deleted from their minds. They start to attract themselves closer to their creator, to their source. They activate the God in them. Jesus come alive in them because they need church. Not Facebook, not TikTok, not Instagram. These things are dangerous to black people. You need to leave these platforms. Delete them from your telephones. I don't have a problem doing that. Because I don't do what I do for likes. I am not addicted to social media. I don't do what I do for likes or shares or comments. I'm not interested in none of that stuff. I'm not addicted to that. I am addicted to self-love. I am addicted to my African pride. That's my addiction. To my godlike nature. That is my addiction. I don't care about social media. Facebook can be deleted for all I care. TikTok could be closed down for all I care. YouTube can be cancelled for all I care. I have no interest in those platforms. I existed before they existed. But the way the black women are sucked in to social media, the way they crave attention, that they're willing to go on these platforms in just their underwear, calling it bikini. Oh, I'm on the beach. On TikTok, just with their bikini, bra and underwear. Nothing else. Claiming that it's a photo, whatever it is they claim. To have all of these strangers masturbating to their pictures, masturbating to their videos, sexualizing themselves, just for likes and shares. To have this false sense that they are pretty, they are beautiful, people like their videos. I'm an influencer, dumbass. A lot of them can't read a text. They can't write an essay. They can't write a paragraph. And they call themselves influencers. They can't read a script. And they call themselves influencers. The only influence they have is on themselves. To influence themselves, to belittle their families, to embarrass their parents by the shit they do on social media, and wondering why they're not happy in relationships. They can't find a man. They can't keep a relationships, and they wonder why. Because none of these men who are liking their pictures, who are commenting on their pictures, none of these men are fantasizing having a woman in their lives doing that shit on social media. None of these men would stand by when they're and allow their own wives or girlfriends to do those kinds of stuff. But yet these dumb, stupid bitches are doing it, hoping to find Mr. Right. Yeah, you might find Mr. Right. He might be a drug dealer or a criminal or some escaped murderer or an outcast. You might find those kinds. They're looking for love. They don't care where it comes from. They just want to know that somebody is there. And those kinds of men want those kinds of low value women. Then you can treat them anyhow. You can treat them like dogs. They will not resist. Because they themselves also are happy to be in a relationship. So whoever comes, they don't care. As long as they have a man they can claim as their own. Even if he's the worst kind in society. Even if she is the worst kind in society. I have seen men in Paramaribo walking the streets up to yesterday. Yesterday I saw, not yesterday, Saturday. I saw a couple with a child. And the man was well dressed. Don't get it twisted. He was well dressed, like most men. Dressed decent. His pants was not sagged to expose his behind as though he's looking for some man to hump him. No, he was well dressed. His child was well dressed. But the woman, my gosh. The woman next to him, I'm like, what the She was wearing a jeans, I think, or something looks like a jeans. And it was hard to tell if she had an underwear. If she had one, it was just a string, like they call it the G string. And she only had on the biha. I'm talking just the biha, the brassiere. That's what you wear under your clothing to protect your boobs or to, appear some decency. That's all she was wearing. She had no shirt, nothing else on, just that, in the city. And he was with her. It couldn't be her brother, because I don't think any decent brother would walk with his sister like that in the city. It was her boyfriend or husband or the father of the child, because the child looked like the guy. So my question was, is she the one making the money? Or he is just some little boy who she slept with and got her pregnant, and he's hanging around because he gets some free pussy? That's it. But this could not be a real man that allow your woman to walk around like that in her bra and something just to cover that little thing in front of her, the vagina. Everything else was transparent. You could see her body. That was just Saturday. There are many more. Every day you see them like that. And these are Negroes. These are black people. These are black people. This was a black couple. Not the other races. Black people. And you wonder why society is what it is? A lot of you would also know, recently we had this horror film with a man who allegedly, because I have not proven it, but so far I've seen a video where they said it's true, where this man killed himself because his ex doesn't want him anymore. And he shared all of these voice notes and things like that about how they talk, how she was very hard to him and these kinds of stuff. How many times have we seen this? where a black man craved attention so bad that he's willing to sacrifice his life just for attention. Just for attention. And he would have no idea how much attention he got, because he's dead and gone. No idea. I wanted to spend some time on that also, that issue. If I should evaluate the story based on all the voice messages and stuff like that, they're both responsible here. But if we should lay a blame, we should cast the blame on the people who raised this man, who raised him without the information that his life means more than some bitch that doesn't want him. His life is more valuable than a vagina. To raise these men to understand that, listen, man, not because you had sex with her, it means you own her. She is the one who walks with her vagina. She carries that vagina, that pussy. She carries it, not you. So not because you seduced her by promising her things or promoting yourself as though you're rich to get her attention, and she came after you because she's a gold digger, a money seeker, and because she wants what you have to offer, that is your money, she pretends to be your girlfriend, pretends to be like she's in love with you, and she gets the money you have in exchange for sex. It doesn't mean you own her. It means you're not the only man she has fucked for money. You're just one. See, if you think that because you get access to that vagina, she belongs to you, she could tell you you own her. Even if you are married to her, you have to tell your boys this, man. People, you have to tell your sons, especially these Negroes, that even if they marry the woman, even if she gives them children, they don't own her. They don't own her. She is still an individual. She is still independent as a person. And women by nature is always attracted to the next best thing. Always attracted to that. This is why women want to quit their jobs, because they get a better offer. They want another purse because it's better than the one they had before. They're always striving to, like, let me try this, let me try it, because there is this urge, this need for constant satisfaction with more. And if you are caught up in that as a man, you shall be consumed, and she's still not satisfied. She still will be going after what sounds better. Most of the times it will never be to your knowledge. You will never know. So regardless, don't settle in your mind's eye that this is mine. It is not yours. So when the time comes and she decided to say, hey, I'm not interested, I already experienced your penis, and gold does not come out of it. It is not an ATM machine. And she meets somebody else, or somebody else meets her. She gives them the attention they ask. They reward her for that attention and promise her more. And she wants the freedom to pursue this other newfound interest. She will give you every reason to leave her, or she would leave you. Then what? You run after her, beg her to come back. It means you have to match what she's going to leave. And if she knows you don't have the substance, you don't have the resources, she's not going to come back. For what? Your dick? Your penis? She had that. She knows what it's like. There is nothing there to excite her. Unless the other man is terrible in bed, she might cheat on him with you. But if there's nothing to get out of you, she would rather to cheat on him with somebody else that she can get something from, besides sex. Then what? You think that is worth you killing yourself? Then the fact that she doesn't give a shit, she's encouraging you to do it so she can put an end to the molestation that comes from you. She wants you to kill yourself. Then she don't have to bother about you sending some texts, calling her, begging, faking. You think they give a shit if you kill yourself? Fellas, do you think your ex-girlfriend gives a darn if you're dead? Right now there are women in relationships, right now, as I speak, women with husbands lying in the same bed right now, in the same house. There are women right now who are wishing their husband don't wake up tomorrow. They're wishing something bad happens to him. They're wishing that he dies, just so they could get rid of him, just so they can be free. Right now as I speak, they wouldn't tell you that. Some usually do. But in their heart, they just want it to be over. They don't want to go through the process of ending the relationship. They don't want all the drama about you running and begging, calling their parents, calling their friends, putting stuff on social media. They don't want that kind of attention. They just want you to die. And then they fake cry. They pretend they lose something. They pretend they're hurting. And after a week, they're fucking the other guy. Right now, there are women who wish for that. And you think threatening a woman who is a gold digger that you're going to kill yourself would give a shit if you do? Then she's going to tell you to do it and you do it? Every life is important. That man who took his own life, that life is not for him to take. It doesn't belong to you. Your life does not belong to you. Your life belongs to three entities. First, your mother and your father who created the life, your God who made it possible, and your government who licensed or gave you the permission to exist. That's why you have a birth certificate, because the government gave you permission to exist. Your birth certificate means you are registered to the state. The state legally owns you, not your parents. Your parents are just guardians, just stewards. They're just taking care of you for the government. And the government pays them every month. That's why they get Kinderbetrag, they call it, or they get stipends from the government for children, because you belong to the state. So if you want to kill yourself, these are the 3 places you need to approach first. Your parents, and if they say, okay, fine, you're God. If you don't know, you talk to your priest or your pastor or your bishop or your magi or your pandit, you get their advice. Then the government. If all 3 of these entities say yes, you have the approval to kill yourself, then you kill yourself. It's not for you to do that. You don't own your life. It does not belong to you. If anybody, this is why people go to jail for murder. This is why the government kills people when they kill other people. This is why you go to jail. Because you don't have the right to take somebody's life. You don't have that right. So you're punished when you do. So anybody who encourage, who inspire, who create the environment for someone else to take their own life, that person too must be held responsible. So in the case of the man who previously took his life, and the evidence is there where his so-called girlfriend acknowledged to the fact that they were in a relationship, responded to the messages, and in her response, she further taunt him, dare him to kill himself. She should be arrested. And she should be charged with conspiracy to commit murder. She should be charged. The police should arrest the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend of that man who recently killed himself and jail her for conspiracy to commit murder, because she encouraged him. She dared him. She taunt him into doing it. And because of his weak, vulnerable state, he did it. That's bullying. She bullied him to the point where he did it. She should be arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. So in the future, everybody else in relationships who are faced with these challenges, when their partner is telling them constantly, if you don't want me more, then it's a self-murder. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to commit suicide. If you are in a relationship and you want to end this thing, and your partner is threatening to do that, and they're threatening via messages, voice notes, and you have that evidence, you need to report it. You need to take it to the police. You need to let the authorities know that this person is threatening to commit suicide, which is a crime. It should be a crime. Attempted suicide should be a crime. You need to criminalize suicide so people understand. If you attempt suicide and you didn't die, you're going to go to jail. There's no sympathy because your life doesn't belong to you. You cannot steal your own life. The state can do it, your parents can do it, and God can do it, not you. So these things need to be taken more seriously. If your husband is telling the wife, your boyfriend, telling the girlfriend, yeah, you can kill yourself. Yeah, go ahead. You're bluffing. Go ahead. And she does it. And that information is secured. That man should go to prison. If it's the other way around and the woman is pushing, provoking the man to kill himself, and he does it like in the last case, she should go to prison. She should be jailed for life. Because if you take a life, you conspire to take a life, it means yours should be taken from you. You should not be able to see the light of day. When we get back to that time, this is how you begin to solve the problems of society. If you're not serious, don't get a relationship. If you just want a slam bam, thank you ma'am, a sex thing, then say that, hey, let's just fuck, that's it. Don't take the other person serious. If the girl knows she can't settle, don't accept proposals. If you know you're a bad person, a gold digger, a hustler, and you have all these holes and secret lovers just to get the money because you're lazy, you don't want to work, you want it the easy way. And speaking of which, I run into this grandmother. She listens to the show. And she said to me something I said a while back she did not agree with. I said, what was it? She said, I often criticize prostitutes or women who mucho mate and these kinds of stuff. I said, yes, and I stand by that. I said, women who mucho are losers. They're evil. They are a scorn to society. They're distasteful, outcast, animals. I said, what? I stand by that. She says, no, because she has daughters and granddaughters, and all of them finish school, complete college. But if they can't find jobs to pay them well, and they can find what they need by doing that, she will not stop them. Because times are hard. Suriname is hard. So it's better that her daughters and granddaughters find ways to make their money than to go work for some company and not paid properly. I did not continue the conversation with that grandmother. I didn't. I said, madam, I said, mevrouw, ik wil met jou niet meer praten. Met dat je midden want tak lang humor. She said, well, I said, no. I said, no, I cannot speak with you further. Because I want to tell her, you are the reason why your daughters and granddaughters are hookers. I want to tell her that. Because if you at this age, as a grandmother, is saying that about the females that you create, then you have been a bad example to them. You have been a waste to humanity, and it's better if you did not make children. I didn't tell her that. I wanted to tell her that. So instead I said, I will not talk to you further. I don't want to use my energy to debate that issue. Because if they have her blessings, who am I to criticize them? Who am I? So now I'm responding the way I'm responding. So if she's listening, madam, I make no apology. But it's grandmothers like you are responsible for the bitches we have in society today. Grandmothers like you. For the terrible girl children that we are raising in society today because of women like you. Because I am now of the opinion that that's how you lived. That you were hustling in your young days. That you were having side hustle in your relationships. So now, you don't have a problem if your daughters do it. Or your granddaughters do it. Because you did it. That's it. It's normal to you, so you accept it from them. And that legacy continues. That generational curse continues. There goes the morals of society. I wasn't shocked. I was not shocked when she talked like that. Regardless, even if these women have husbands, if they can't find jobs that pays them well, they would prostitute themselves, have sex for money, become hookers, escorts, whatever, sell their vagina for money. And she approves of that. Yeah. A grandmother in Suriname shared that with me. I was sad. I was saddened. I was really saddened. I hope those kinds of people do not come around my relatives. I hope that the women who give birth to girl children for me, I hope that they're really good women. I hope that they really understand the value of having high morals. There is nothing good about selling your bodies as a woman. There's nothing good about that. Everything about it is bad. Everything. It is bad. You attract curses to your life. Your life is never the same. You struggle for the rest of your life. Nothing goes well in your life. Not even religion can fix you. You have to hope in the afterlife you can have some kind of good life. But then you have to stop now. But there is no heaven on earth for a retired prostitute. There is nothing good about it. Absolutely nothing. So my thing is that I want to leave with you is this. We have to treat people not by the measure of our perception of them, but the content of their actions towards us. But for us to see the good in people, we have to let people see the good in us. We have to let people see the good in us. We can be better. For all of these young black men that are committing crime, robbing and killing, you are embarrassing your entire race. This is bigger than just you and your greed. It's bigger than just you and your messed up parents who raised you. This is a whole nation. You are causing the scorn to be perpetuated, theoretically, over the lives of people who look like you. You have to stop. Do what's right. Turn yourself in. Understand that you have made a mistake. Pay for your mistakes. Turn yourself in. Hand yourself over to the authorities. Do your time. Don't contaminate the innocent ones with that kind of evil. Your neighbor may not look like you, but he's human too. You think that man who appeared to be rich is happy? Why do you think he hustles so much? Why do you think he takes chances? He's not happy. He's not satisfied. He's going and going and going and going because he knows if he stops, he's poor. Do you really want to be in the position of that rich man? You have this illusion to think that he's happy. Which rich man tells you that he's happy? If he was, why he keeps hustling? Why day in, day out? He's busy. Trying to get more and more. Why? Happiness is contentment. Happiness is satisfaction. If you're not satisfied, if you're not content, you're not happy. I'm begging you. Africans, let's go back to our churches. We invented churches, not the white man. The white man did not invent Christianity. Africans did. The white man did not invent the Bible. We did. We wrote it. We didn't invent it. We record our history in the Bible. It's not European history. It's black history. Let's go back there. Let's celebrate our spirituality. Let's show society that we are still the angels. We are still the saviors. We are still the positive fabric of society. Black is still powerful. It's still mighty. We have to go back to that time when we are trusted, revered, admired, embraced. We can go back to that time. Forget about all the negativity. Forget about this lust for attention on social media. Fuck social media. Forget about that. You could delete Facebook for all I care. Let us turn to each other. Start loving you. I don't want you to love me. Love you. I am good enough to love myself. I don't need anybody to love me. I am capable of loving myself 100%. I just want you to love you. You don't have to love your wife. Love you. Let her love her. You don't have to love your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband. No. Love you. You love you. Let her love her. And together you are lovers. Because you love yourself. Only then you can see the value in each other. Bring that out into society. Stop listening to these politicians who want you to help them to be rich. Don't believe them. Don't listen to them. Let them prove themselves. Approve of them. Then let them earn your trust. Don't give it freely. Let them earn your trust. Switch them off. Don't tune into them. Put you first. And I'm saying this, your life does not belong to you. Your life belongs to your parents who created you. Your God who has divinely filled you. and the government who registered you. Make all three entities proud of you. Show them that they made the right decision to make you exist. Value your life. No more suicides. No more murders. No more robberies. Love yourself. I need you to love yourself. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. And I want to see you in church. If it's Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday night or Friday night or whatever time your churches have sessions or meetings, come on, man. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Facebook can wait. TikTok can wait. Instagram can wait. Go spend some time in your churches amongst people that looks like you, who understand what you're going through. You don't need the wig, the weave, the false hair, the nails, the makeup. All you need is just to cover yourself and enter the church building and smile. That's all you need to do. Go to your churches, assemble, worship, pray, embrace each other, help each other. Be proud to be of African heritage. Christianity is not a white man's religion, it's a black man's idea. We created it. We wrote the Bible. It's our story. Be proud of it. Embrace it. Please, do it for you. It's better you throw that money in the church than to throw it with Suribet. It's better you invest that money in your church than invest it at KFC or McDonald's or one of these harmful industries. Give it to the church. Whatever you do, I'm inviting you to go to your church whenever you can. I'm inviting you. Go to Pastor Neville's church, the church in your neighborhood. Find a church. Go to that church. Spend time with human beings like yourself. Forget about the fake world of social media. Stop posting those naked pictures. Stop degrading yourselves as black women. You have God-like bodies. Honor it. Respect it. Worship it. This is Professor Love saying, until next time, have a pleasant rest of your evening. Goodbye.